Continues now with West 2 legal analyst and defense attorney Richard Hornsby. First off, Richard, $150,000 bond for a case like this, high, low, where does it play?
You know, if this wasn't Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman, I would say it was a fairly high bond given the facts of the case. However, I think Judge Lester got it right. By putting it $150,000, he puts it within reach of the family to post a 10% premium, which is $15,000 that Mark O'Mara said they had. So I think this bond in this case, under these facts, is an appropriate bond, and it seems that Judge got it right on this one.
The conditions of the bond include no contact with the victim's family, no drugs or alcohol, no weapons, but he does have to report his location every 3 days. Is that typical?
All that other stuff is pretty standard stuff, and you'd expect that. The every 3 days, I think the judge is very concerned because here you have someone that's basically going to have to live out of the state, and I think both the state and the defense have conceded that. It seems with the GPS, it might be a little bit of overkill, but I think the judge is just very cautious at this point, and that's why he ordered it. I've never seen it ordered before under those circumstances.
As I was watching this unfold today, it seemed to me like Mark O'Mara was prepared to, or at least from an attorney standpoint, prepared to try the case today. I don't know that I got that same perception from the prosecution. Listen,
when you're the prosecution, you're asking that someone be held without bond, whether it's George Zimmerman or any other case, you're supposed to put on the full dog and pony show. And frankly, the prosecution failed to bring the dog or the ponies to this show. Mark O'Mara caught him completely off guard when he called the officer on his own, and he was able to pull out all the weaknesses in their case, and most importantly, he was able to show the public that the prosecution will be unable to rebut the key issue in this case, which is how did the actual altercation occur?
George Zimmerman taking the stand, I think a lot of people were surprised by him actually going up and exposing himself to limited cross-examination.
Well, this is a way, I was surprised too, and I think pretty much anybody would be surprised, but it shows you the confidence that Mark O'Mara has, not only in the case, but in his client, George Zimmerman, because he knows that George is locked into what he said. He's already given at least 2 interviews to law enforcement. He's given very specific facts, and frankly, we saw George Zimmerman testify, and he was very confident under cross-examination, and I think that's a warning to the state that says, listen, we're prepared and there are no inconsistencies in George's statement.
Well, we heard a lot of contradicting statements today between the witnesses and the defendant. It's like we were listening to 2 different crimes, alleged crimes taking place here. Does it seem like this case is going to revolve around credibility?
Well, again, here's the big problem, is that the state has no evidence based upon their own admissions today that will rebut George Zimmerman's very specific account of how the incident took place, about Trayvon attacking him after he's walking back to his car. And regardless of credibility, if they have nothing to rebut that, simply calling George Zimmerman a liar is not going to be enough for a judge to find him uncredible. Now, the secondary issue that's risen is all these other witnesses out there that apparently come forward after this case made the national media. Mark O'Mara is, I think, pointing out to everybody that what they saw and what they'll testify to has been influenced by the media and by sympathy for Trayvon Martin. And that's going to be a major issue, I think, as far as credibility, is those witnesses. What did they see? What do they actually know? Why are they saying what they're saying after the fact?
And very quickly, what's next in this case?
I think we're going to see a lot of depositions, a lot of discovery going on between Mark and the state, but I think that'll be quiet, and then we'll have the motion to dismiss based upon self-defense probably in 8 to 9 months from now.
All right, Richard Hornsby, thanks for your insights. Appreciate it.
Thank you very
much.
much.
Always.